Okay, folks. I can start with telling about why I decided to create this initiative, and then we go to the questions. And feel free. Hello, hello, Mozambique. I will check firstly the issues or the questions in the Slack. If you don't know, we have Node.js-mentoring Slack channel, so you can check and ask questions there. And then if you have any other question, you can ask in the chat, and we keep going, okay? So basically, let me present myself. My name is Rafael Gonzaga. I'm also from Brazil. I live in a country city inside São Paulo, so it's not the capital. I live in a farm, to be honest. And I'm staff engineer at Nearform, and I'm also a Node.js technical steering committee member, which means we have some decisions, we have some meetings, we decide about the future of Node.js. We discuss. I'm also part of other working groups in the Node.js space, security, performance, diagnostics, and so on. And I have some package that I maintain. I maintain the Node Clinic. It's not very active nowadays, but I try to do the maximum I can do. I am passionate about performance. I like to perform research and debugging. So if you want to check, some of my blog posts are available at blog.rafaelgss.dev. And last year I took to deliver some talks across the world. So I've been, I was saying in the chat, I've been in Italy, Colombia, and so on. Okay, so I will start with some questions. First, the main objective of this initiative is to teach you or to tell you that the Node.js code base is not so complicated. It's not difficult to be a Node.js contributor. Hello, Afonso. Thanks for the subscription, Arthur. And the main idea, as I was saying, is to show that it's not complicated. It doesn't require to be someone genius or something like that to be a contributor of Node.js. We have different parts of code. Node.js is a huge project, and I can say that I am not expert in all of this. I have some areas of expertise which I can teach, but there are others that I don't know, you know, and that's the idea. I will share some links now, then I will start with some questions, okay? The first thing which is quite important is nodejs.org-calendar. What is this? Basically, Node.js, I will send in the chat as well. Basically, Node.js contains several working groups, which is, for instance, we have a working group for performance. If you like performance, we have a working group for that. We have a team for that. If you like the loaders, you can join the loaders team. You can join the loaders meeting and discuss about this area in specific. Currently, I'm part of the security working group, which will happen tomorrow. The TSC that happened, I think, 2 hours ago. There is the API team, which is mostly porting things to C++, Rust, and all the API thing. And we have the diagnostic that might be collapsed with the performance meeting as well. And we have the release, which is about releasing Node.js to the community. The build, which is basically the infra of Node.js. For instance, we have just machines. We have the machine that we release Node.js, the signing keys, and everything around that. And we have one initiative called Node.js Next 10, which is very, very cool. It's basically, we discuss about the future of Node.js. Which features should be the primary focus of our team, or what is the main problem you can see on Node.js, or for instance, we have next 10 repository, which is this one. I will send in the chat. And all the working groups repository contains the meetings, which is the minutes of every meeting. So for instance, if you missed the last meeting, you check this MD, and it contains the recording and some bullet points about the topic discussion. And one thing important is, let me check here. I think we have some, I think it's in the TSC. We have some strategic initiatives, which is basically someone with some expertise of the Node.js code base tells, okay, what if we create a strategic initiative to improve or to create the single executable app? Darshan did that, create the issue we discussed, and we agreed, okay, it can be a very good initiative, and then someone took the lead, and this is the current initiatives. We have performance, which we don't have a champion for that now, but I'm waiting a bit. Maybe I will put myself, and so on. And we have the list of completed initiatives, for instance, workers, modules, any API, and so on. Okay, nice Fallen's headset. Yeah, I like CS, and it's a very good headset. Okay, any questions so far? Please send the chat so I can explain, and then we go topic by topic. Oh, good. And I will speak in Portuguese. Se você é brasileiro e não souber escrever em inglês, ou não entender alguma coisa que eu falei em inglês, pode falar em português que eu vou traduzir, tá bom? Okay, oh good. I'll keep going. Everyone can join as a listener. Yes, everyone can join as a listener. We normally open the YouTube live stream. So if you go to the YouTube Node.js YouTube. Okay, it's not this one. No. Node.js org, I guess. Or is Node.js? Okay, switch account. I need to use the Node.js account. My channel. And then we have all the, that's me 1 year ago. And we have the performance team meetings and so on. You can check all the recordings here. Okay? I would like to contribute with Node.js as well. Yes. Which skills do you recommend? A solid knowledge in the JavaScript, and C++ is depending on the area. For instance, if you want to fix a bug, it might be important to know C++, but in other areas, like let me show you here. Okay, I think I have Node 2 here. Yep. This is not the version 2 of Node.js, okay? Okay. We have some modules or some libraries that are only on that exist only on the JavaScript side, so you can play with that. But we have some of them that we have just the user interface in the JavaScript side, and then all the implementation happens in the C++ side. So sometimes C++ knowledge is desirable. Yeah. Okay. So I will go to some questions from the Slack channel, and I hope I won't leak anything here. Let me check. Opening channel. Yes, I think we are good. Let me move here. First question, can I open it as a channel? I don't think so, right? No. Okay, first question is, how can you build Node.js core and test your changes in a fast way? Alfonso did an answer which is correct. We normally use Ccache when building Node.js in Unix platforms. Ccache basically will create a cache of your compilation, so you'll be able to perform the compilation of Node.js faster. If you change one file, just only this file will be reevaluated or recompiled. In case of using a dot, we have some implementations in the dot in the header. So, for instance, inline. And if you are familiar with C++, you know that if you change this file, all files that include this header will need to be recompiled as well. And the other thing is, when we use a make, the first comment when you install Node.js, besides installing all the dependencies, you call configure. And one suggestion is to use configure with Ninja, which is a way of building Node.js. And it will create the config.gapi, I guess. And then you run make. When you run make without arguments, it will use, if I remember correctly, just one processor to do that. But if you pass the -j and a number, it will use the number of cores of your machine. In my case, I have 6 cores, so we normally use J6, but in some situations, if you use a number higher than the number of your physical cores, it's okay too. But this number normally doesn't go higher than 12 or something like that. Okay, so that's a way to make Node.js compilation fast. The other thing is when you are touching in the JavaScript code base and you don't want to recompile everything, we have a specific command that avoids all the make command compilation. I will teach you later. Okay. Knowledge in compilers makes some difference. I don't think so. I will answer, the question was in Portuguese, so I will answer in Portuguese and English, okay? Conhecimento de compiladores faz alguma diferença? Ainda não em um runtime, não exatamente um compiler, né? Ou parte... não fazem tanta diferença porque, a menos que você vá trabalhar na V8, aí faria bastante diferença, mas no caso do Node.js, a gente só pega o código JavaScript, coloca na engine, ela processa todos os dados, mas a gente não lida com abstract syntax tree ou outras coisas. So, in other words, knowledge in compilers wouldn't make much difference in the Node.js code base. Like, it won't be so beneficial unless you work directly on V8, okay? Let's suppose I have a good knowledge about JavaScript. How could I take my first task? That's a good question. And I don't have, honestly, a silver bullet answer for that. If you go to the issues, we have more than 1,000. And if you filter for a good first issue, it will show some of them. And not all of that will be really good first issue. My suggestion, as I said previously, is start going to the working groups. Get some experience about what they are talking about, which parts of code they are talking about, and then you can ask questions in the Slack channel, because one thing is to fix a random bug in Node.js. The other thing is to fix a bug which in the feature you like. For instance, let's say that you like the test runner, and you found a issue on that. For instance, this one is a good first issue with a feature request. So if you are familiar with the test runner, you will be able to do that way easier than taking a random good first issue, which sometimes is not really good first issue. It needs context, and that's the thing. So if you are interested in performance, go and check all the performance good first issues. And we don't have many, because usually when we flag them with a good first issue, a lot of people comment, and it doesn't mean that you fix, but you know, sometimes you'll be weird. Vão rolar eventos como esse aqui em português para a comunidade brasileira? Yes, I'm planning to do a foi mal. Eu tô planejando fazer uma outra live, talvez na outra semana, para fazer quase a mesma coisa, mas totalmente focado em português. So yeah. Okay. Next question. First of all, can't wait to say, okay. It's okay to, okay, I know how to write JavaScript, C, C++, I use Node, but how do I help? Where do I start? So yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. There's not a roadmap. Like, we don't have one line of road, one street that you need to follow in order to be a contributor. We have many fronts of work. We have an API, we have test runner, we have different features. You just need to know exactly which feature you like most. In my case, I love C++. I've worked as a C++ engineer in the past, so I took a look in all the issues flagged with C++ that no one resolved. And then I took some of them. My first issue took, I don't know, 3 months, 2 months of work. And then I learned everything. And then I started for that. But one thing I can teach, basically, is the structure of the Node.js code base. So, okay, not this one. Yeah. So we have 2 main folders. The first one is lib, and the second one is source. Okay? Lib, hello, John? Yes. We have the lib, which is basically all the JavaScript files, and then we have the source, which is basically the C++ files, okay? So one thing we can do, I can just make an example for you. Basically, let's write a new module, okay, for Node.js. Actually, it's better to write a new function. So let's say that we are taking buffer as an example. Okay, buffer will touch in a bunch of C++. I don't want to show that now. Okay, one thing I just changed was the path.resolve, which was a mess. Let me check one thing. I think I have a very long backlog, and we can fix one thing together, and then I can teach. The only problem is that I will need to make create the Node.js binary here, and since I'm using the, maybe this will work. Let me check. Okay, that should work. Okay, since let me use just 2. If my voice starts to break or to freeze, let me know in the chat, okay? So So before starting to work, you recommend join meetings and get familiar with issues and stuff. Yes, my suggestion is to be around. Basically, go to the Slack channel, see, be an observer, see the people that, for instance, if you go to the security space, we have the Node.js, not this one is private. We have the Node.js security working group channel. And if you have any question about some of the issues or some of the concerns that we are working on in the security space, you ask the question here, you have an answer, and that's the best way you can learn, is to have questions, basically. Ask someone. You see that I'm active in the security, so you can ping me directly on messages, and that's all, right? It's basically joining a company, right? Okay, almost finishing. Okay, second question is in the mentoring. Let me check. Glad to be part of this. A few questions like, where do I find a Node.js roadmap? Is there a such thing? No, we don't have a roadmap. Basically, Node.js is run by volunteers, so we can't have responsibilities. We can't ask someone to do one thing. We can't ask for a member to work on specific tasks. So the good side is that there's no pressure, okay? Even saying all of that, they are very, very active in the Node.js project. So if you go to the Node.js project, you'll see that every day, at least 30 commits goes to the Node.js core, I guess. We have just one today, but yeah. We have some, I was saying, Sheplu in the chat is John. He's part of the Next 10 initiative as well. I was saying in the beginning that we have one initiative to discuss about the future, the priorities of the Node.js project, and so on. And if you have any question about that, I think John will be the best person to ask. Right. Second one. So yeah, we don't have a roadmap. How long does it take to fix to a fix to get released or any change addition in the in general? That's a very, very, very good question. So I will open my example. Let's imagine that we have 3 active release lines. We have Node.js 18, we have Node.js 20, and now we have Node.js 21.x, right? This one is in maintenance mode. This one is active LTS. And this one is what we call current, which is a version that want to be promoted to LTS and is also the latest version of Node.js. Or it's not always the latest version, but it's basically the versions that receives updates more frequently. We have a rule on Node.js, which is for LTS release lines, we perform releases on every month, once per month, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we have a repository for that as well. I will send the chat. Basically, if you go, we have all the release plan here in the pinned issue. This one is the 18 maintenance. When maintenance start, which means that we won't release Node.js 18 anymore. There is no release of Node.js 18 unless a security feature appears or a very nasty bug or someone or a releaser just want to do that. But it's hard. It's uncommon to have a release of a maintenance. The last one was in November, and we are not planning to do any other release of Node.js 18 because it's now in the maintenance mode, okay? Node.js 20 is the active LTS. Oh, it's raining a lot here. It's in the active LTS. Ulysses is working in the next version, and that's the idea. Basically, whenever you have a LTS release line, we release that version once per month, and we are more restrict with the changes that will land in that release line. If you land a pull request, let's say that you have the pull request 01, and it was merged today. And we have a release planned for tomorrow. This feature won't get or won't be included in this release. Okay? Won't be included. Because we have a rule for active LTS, which is we need a baking off time. This feature only can be released after 2 weeks of merging on main. Okay? So in this case, this feature can only be released 27. No, 17. After 17th of January. Okay? This is the rule for 20. For the current release line, we don't have that rule. Okay? So if you have a pull request 01 and it was merged today, and we have a release planned for tomorrow, it will be included. Okay? That's why non-active LTS lines are more susceptible to bugs, because we don't have a baking off time. We don't have a time which the pull request will stay and be checked by other members, by the community, and then that's more, generally speaking, is more susceptible to bugs. Okay? That's the idea. I think I have answered the question. So we have all the plans, the schedule in the release chat, in the release repository. So just check it. Third question. Actually, yeah. Will contribution be limited to JavaScript only, or will be able to write some native code as well? Yes, we write native code quite very often. Okay, I normally write a bunch of C++ code. Let me check here. Author, me. Okay, this one. We have a release planned for tomorrow. Okay, for 21. But let me check. This one is C++. This one C++. We have another one which is a big change, but okay, this one is C++. Yes, you can definitely write C++ code on Node.js. No worries. Why this is failing? We have a long test suite. When you create a pull request, this is stale. So I need to create request CI again. Okay. Any other question? I think we can maybe get on a specific issue and working on. I don't know if you'll be able to do that today, but one thing important is that we are planning to change the release schedule of Node.js. Currently, we have an odd and an even release, and people just use one, and we are just doing extra work, and we are considering a different release methodology. but that's working on an issue live would be great. Okay, we just need to find the issue. Let me see if I have something on my personal backlog. Okay. The ones that I have is private because I'm working on some security patches, so I can't show it in a live stream. Okay, let me check another one. Memory leak is not one thing that we want to do now, and it needs to be a confirmed bug at least. Ooh, this one will be bad. Deadlocks is not something that I wish to work. Okay. Hey Rafa, are you recording this Twitch session? Yes, I'm doing that. I hope it works this time, but it shows recording. So yeah. How is your study schedule, and how do you conciliate your job with contributing with Node.js? The second question is very easy to say, to answer. I get my full-time work is to work on Node.js, so I don't need to conciliate because that's just my job. Okay. And how is my study schedule? Well, it really depends on the area. I normally focus most of my studies in the performance field, so I have some benchmark methodologies. I have something that I need to really working on. If you check my profile, you'll be able to check to see this repository which is one repository that I normally working on. Basically, I track all the benchmark operations across different versions of Node.js. So for instance, if you want to know the array creation, if you create an array using new array instead of array from is faster, and you can check it in different versions of Node.js. For instance, in the version 21, it didn't regressed, so we are good to go. And the environment that I run all the benchmarks. This is one thing I like to do. I'm also working on, it's more slowly, but I'm working on a new benchmark module for Node.js. We are still evaluating that as a separate module you can install as a bank node, but the plan is to move it to Node.js core at some day. I have also a Goodreads, which is oh, I won't get my password now, but I have some books I like to read. Okay. It needs to be a good first issue because I need to teach you as well. So let me get a good first issue. Missing documentation. I don't want to work on documentation. Assert OK is throwing a certain error instead of provided error object. Ooh. If you fix that, I think we'll get a server major. Okay. So your advice when looking at bugs is always to work on confirmed ones? No. We need people to do triage as well. I'm just looking to the confirmed one because I don't want to spend the whole time here just to check if this is working as expected or not. I think we can check one thing on the permission model. So yeah. Benchmark is one thing interesting as well. We run benchmarks on Node.js and we always miss some benchmarks. Let me check if the permission contains a benchmarks. We have permission process.has. Okay, this is okay. Startup. Oh yeah, I wrote everything. No worries. So is our company collaborating with Node? I didn't understand that. So I have a contract with OpenJS Foundation, openjsf.org. I have a contract with the OpenJS Foundation, and basically they sponsor Nearform, which sponsor me to work on Node.js, and I have been doing that for the last 2 years, more or less. But before that contract, the way that I conciliate the things was just using my free time. Unfortunately, the open source world is not easy, okay? And sometimes you just need to use your free time and do that. Let me check one thing here. Ooh, that's bad. Ok. Frequentaste o ensino superior? Se sim, acredito que tua formação... Não, na verdade eu fiz 2 anos de faculdade e eu cancelei. Eu precisei me mudar por conta de trabalho e nunca mais voltei. So I did 2 years of university, computer science, and I dropped after 2 years because I had to move to a new job in the capital, and I decided that university, or I realized that in my case at least, university was just about networks, but not really to learn something. Okay. What else we can working on? Maybe I have a pull request open that we can work. Some of them are related specific to machines. For instance, let me check if I have my first pull request here. I think so. I think, yes, this was my first pull request, I guess, no. But this one is a HTTP bug I fixed in the HTTP module that was happening only on Windows 2012 R2 32 bits. So you know, sometimes a bug can be very difficult to solve because it's related to the machine. I would like to do the same like you. How could I do that? Like working for OpenJS staff. Ooh, that's hard. Um, I think the best way to do that, at least the first step is be around, like be a Node.js contributor first, keep engaging in the community, keep helping us, and then when they open a form or a contract of work, service of work, doesn't really matter, they will restrict it to collaborators only, or sometimes a specific expertise only, and then you can apply. But you know, you need to be around first. It will it will be hard to find a bug to working on now. Let me check if I can filter something specific. I can't do performance because I'm doing live stream. Maybe permission. Do they have something? Enable inspection mode. Okay, this one we decide to not include because it will leak something. Right, let me check the... Okay. I think what we can do is to create a module, just a new function, and then I show you how we create functions and call things. So we have our Node.js binary here, right? Normally the version is is the next one, the next major, and basically let's say that we want to include a new function to the test or to the assert. I think it's better. Okay, this one. Let's say that we want to include assert test. It will be a function. Let me see. It will be a function that we just one thing is that I normally use raw debug instead of console.log because console.log makes a mess with async rooks, but don't use it in production, okay? This should work, I guess. Another question: if you have an issue with specific machine or operating system, do you just run a VM and work from there? Yeah, not exactly. If you are a contributor, you can go and ask for a machine in the Node.js build. I did that several times. For instance, the Windows server I have mentioned, I have asked for access to this specific machine, and then someone did it for me. Okay? Okay, now we have this, and then we can assert should be required, and then we have test, right? It's not a function, so I did something wrong. Maybe assert strict test. And then we have a new function for the assert strict. Okay? Would be great if I think about something to include now, right now. Usually, creating features for Node.js is way easier than fixing things. As usual, any project requires context, and if you are creating something from scratch, you don't need a context or a huge context. So it's usually easier. Okay. Tell me one feature you would like on Node.js, and we do it now. And don't talk about TypeScript, please. You can always have a test that will check if the array contains the same values or something like that. Yes, that's a suggestion of creating a pull request, going to test, and so on. But well, I think I can just complement this pull request. This request CI. I don't want to do this change. Okay, let's do that. So we have some tests. We have some modules here, and we have, okay, this is interesting to say. We have different ways of testing. We have the parallel testing, which is we run most of the tests in parallel. So if you go to test, we have the parallel somewhere. Okay. We have parallel, and we have the sequential, and we have another ones. And we have the sequential. Usually we put on sequentials tests that requires machine resource, and it can be flaky if we do that in parallel. For instance, if you're creating a socket and you know that on Linux machines, or at least Unix machines, you have a limit of opening sockets of 65,554, I guess. And if we create a lot of tests creating HTTP sockets, it will be flagged someday. This is just a weird example, but that's one that would work. Okay. We have some tests for num issues as well. It's things that we don't have a fix planned. We don't know how to fix that, or it's just there's no fix for that, and we create a test just to guarantee that that behavior. Okay. Let me go to parallel, which is where most of our tests lives, and we take test permission. Test permission, okay, fs read, this one. I have a test to guarantee that file system read will throw access denied. If you don't know, we have created a feature for Node.js 20, which is called experimental permission. And whenever you call that with, and you try to, let me check, echo console.log, hey to index.js, and then you run it with experimental permission, it will throw an error. Oh, access denied. And that's the idea of this module. And I need to guarantee that file system watch file works with, okay, I did that test as well. Maybe let me read the directory. Yeah, I did the test. I don't have anything on my mind now. Okay, I think I do have one thing. Yeah. Uh, File system right. I don't have tasks guaranteeing that URL can be called in the file system. So what I can do is basically go to the file system read and copy the bucket file URL and basically do this following the following test. Yeah, it's working. So I just need to do that. It's not something difficult, but I can show you some examples of creating a request on Node.js. Ooh, no. Okay, there is one pull request you can do. And you can open a pull request now on Node.js Core. And I need a volunteer. Who wants to do that? Who has Node.js compiled locally? Does someone? Do you have Node.js compiled locally? Oh, try to do that. We have a building set up for that. Just take a look and you should be able to do that. Yeah, that works. Okay. This should be fine. So if I run that, yep. No, not on my add URL fs write test. I have Node compile, but it's a little bit mess. I was doing a few experiments. Okay. I will show the idea, and then you can do that. Let me just create this pull request. So git commit, and then we have test add URL test to fs write. I have another test. I did one thing pretty similar some time ago. E aí, Rafael, sou o Arthur, da Bilac, estudei com você, Aline e o Gui. E aí? Beleza, Arthur? Right. Okay. So I have my request open to the Node.js project. I can request changes, but request CI, but I wait for the linter. I'm sure it won't be a problem. So let me show you the thing you can do to create a pull request for Node.js. Basically, on fs read test, we have a text test fixtures permission fs read. Basically, this file here. Let me show you in the chat. Fs read. We have this file. Basically, whenever you assert with assert.throws, we are using common.expectError. However, this is not necessary anymore. And you can create a pull request that will just do the following. Here and here. This is the GIF. And then you run node, test, parallel, test, permission, file system read. And if that exists with 0, which is the expected exit code, you are good to go. So that's the idea. So I can I guess this one. This is the GIF. Basically, do that for the entire file. Just remove the expect error. The new line, the end is not necessary. Okay, it's just my editor, I guess. This is a good example of a pull request. And then when you open that pull request, make sure to ping me so we can review or approve, add the correct label, and we know that this is a code and learn thing. Okay? So probably I will open a new live stream tomorrow to release Node.js 21.6.0, the new version of Node.js. This is the release proposal. We have a lot of good things. Changes to the permission model, support configurable snapshots, and new connection attempt events in the net.createConnection flow. And well, I don't have anything else planned for today. The live stream is like 1 hour, and that should be okay to start with. So please, if you have any question, any other question, join the Slack channel. Let me check if I can get a link for that. Slack.invite openjsf.com, maybe. No, I have it on my Twitter. Yes, please join the Slack channel and join the Node.js mentoring and ask any other question there. It was which time will be tomorrow's live stream? I'm planning to do, let me check my calendar. Just one thing first. Tomorrow will be a mess. Let me check. I have a meeting. Okay, we can do the same time. Tomorrow, same time, 2:30 Brazilian time, or UTC -3. 2:30 UTC -3. Okay, folks. So, any question, please share there. Any question. I mean, why we use a semicolon instead of non-semicolon? That's a good question, and so on. Okay. See you, folks. Until tomorrow.